Alright, welcome back to Community Challenge. We've managed to get this one going. We've got Ares here as Babylon in the blue trunks. Today he's up against Deadpan in the yellow as Egyptian. So it's good to see Banana Man back playing the game. That's Deadpan. So Banana Man is his dead name, I guess you'd say. He's already taken hunting dogs. Ares, no hunting dogs because he wants to spear rush. So he's looking to put on the pressure. I know Deadpan's actually pretty good with spear rushing. Like the first time we played on Swamp Pass, that's what he did against me. So, and it's funny, spear rush at the moment, it's kind of out of the meta on most of the bigger maps for sure. On these smaller ones, it's a bit hit or miss. Like Oasis is a good idea. The other maps people generally don't, because now that conditioning does have that big train time reduction, that actually has come out of the fact that spears across the board in Spara all went up from about 12-second train time to 15 seconds. So this upgrade I think used to give like 5 or 10% train time. Now it gives 30% because, you know, that train time's gone up. And all that happened, I think, during the slower eco patches. You know, back when gather rates were like 0.9 rather than being 1 second. No, it was 0.8, sorry. Rather than being 1 a second. The Deadpan evacuating quickly, he's not going to muck around. Oh, I don't think he realizes he's got one more villager caught up here. He does see her and pull her out in time. He's having to switch to berries, and it means he's also having to get picker's gloves, and in fact getting it out of this storehouse is a little bit dangerous because Ares might be able to take it down on time now that he's got his third spearman here. So this could be a big mistake to not be getting it out of his wood storehouse or his stone storehouse here, because he's going to have he's going to have to get the upgrade again, and he's already invested in hunting dogs, and that really hasn't paid itself off just yet, or has only just. So, but Deadpan's gathering well, keeping the scout busy as well, trying to deal what damage he can. And bearing in mind the Egyptian scout and the Norse range scout actually deal quite a bit of damage to the spearmen that don't have any pierce. So that's pretty much all of them. It's really only Spara that the Egyptian scout or the Norse range scout are weak against. So Deadpan's relatively safe here. He's invested in a hunt upgrade he hasn't made any use of. He's lost the storehouse, but he hasn't lost a villager, which is big. He has had a bit of lull in villager production though. 16 villagers to Ares 17, so that's not great, but he's still managing to produce the spears through this. He's should be able to sort out being pop capped right this second. He's actually no huge rush because he's got 2 villagers in the queue. Ares is looking really good, going to transition on to stone gathering, get that second town center. Actually on the board there, so he hasn't had to shift off his first hunt, which is nice because he's also got another defensive hunt over here. Going for a bit of a pass through with the spears, just forcing Deadpan to have to distance gather. Although it's not a huge amount of distance gathering. Those 2 trees right next to that storehouse. H2's finished for Deadpan. Ares starting his at the moment. 19 vills to 18. So Deadpan finishing the house there. So briefly housed. He's able to get the second TC. It's on the far side of the army, but Ares is aware that this is happening. So this could be dangerous because there's a lot of travel time there. And all Ares has to do is attack from the other side to be pretty safe here once he forces the villagers off. So Deadpan forced to bring everything, gonna lose 2 or 3 villagers. Able to garrison the rest. Ares not gonna stick around, although I think if he's got enough mass there, he probably could have tied up Deadpan slightly longer because, you know, he's at the cap for villagers to garrison there. Deadpan was gonna have to evacuate any further trading ones. And, you know, 15 villagers not gathering, like every second that's 15 resources just down the drain for your opponent. It'll take longer than that for a single town center to kill a spear. So, because what do they cost? 60 resource. So you only, as long as you can keep a spearman alive for 4 seconds or more, if you can force your opponent to garrison 15 villages into the TC, and this is before eco upgrades, mind you, every 4 seconds a spearman gets paid for. Basically is the way to look at it. And then on top of that, you know, he's going to be training every 18 seconds, a village is going to pop out, which can't re-garrison. So I think Ares, in a way, sticking around and just throwing this away could have actually been more worthwhile, because Deadpan's going to go for Axeman anyway. So, I think, I mean, Ares has played this well. He's come out ahead, but I do think he could have actually pushed this a little bit harder. Because now Ares is just going to sit back and work towards Lancers, which isn't a bad idea. But bear in mind, Deadpan's not going to go triple racks against him. He is going to add a stables now, so Ares is actually going to be momentarily behind on production, but 29 to 28. Oh, Villagers, it's pretty even still. Deadpan's done a good job there. He did lose a couple, but he did have the quicker town center still. Which sometimes, you know, if you do get damaged a bit more, your second TC ends up being delayed by the, you know, to the point where the person spear rushing has the faster second TC, and then that's a really ugly situation to be in. But right now, Deadpan's not really that far behind at all. In fact, I think it's pretty even he's come out of this. Although he has lost a priestess, so he will have to invest in one of those to make sure he's just training at the same rate as the other civs. Because poor old Egyptian, you have to have priestesses on your TCs and have Touch of Ra to have the same villager train time as the other civs. Ares is comfortable enough to invest in 3 gardens here, which is a big investment actually. Because he's actually behind on military production buildings. Deadpan's up to 4 now. He's going to get Spear Champ too, which is interesting because usually I've just find just pumping as many camels as you can and then having some axemen behind that tends to be the way to go against Lancers. Because Ares isn't going to muck around getting a lot of ranged or spears at all here. He's mainly just going to keep on investing in stables. He might add 1 range once he's got to like 3 stables. Very defensive garden. Some of these others are a bit more haphazardly placed. So Deadpan going to go for a raid. Ares was trying to scout with his 1 Lancer there, but he's got more coming in too. He had this one just out scouting the side while he's sending these guys across. So Deadpan. Deadpan's setting up to raid here. Ares also going for a bit of a long-winded run around the map before he hits. A couple of idlers here for Deadpan, that's not ideal. I think there was a hunt here and he's just finished that up, if memory serves correct. Both players going to take a bit of fire from the town centre and give themselves away. Deadpan might be able to... Oh no, good garrison there by Ares, not even taking any damage. And the camels end up running the wrong way there. One of them's going to get picked off. In fact, a second's probably... Oh no, all 3 are going to get chopped by the spears, I think. That is not great for Deadpan at all. Meanwhile, Ares able to get a villager out of this. Maybe even a couple of military units. I mean, it's not going to be the most cost-effective trade by Ares either, but at least he is going to get a little bit of gathering value out of this. Ooh, but a couple of villagers get left low there. He really only gets the 1, kills a couple of axemen. One is a bit lucky that the camel doesn't kill one of those low lancers. But Ares does come out of that a little bit better off overall. Deadpan should be able to clean up a lancer or 2 here though. They're so low that unless Ares can afford pharmacology, they're just going to get shredded. It's not very expensive, but it does take a while for it to actually really pay itself off. At least this early on. Later on, it's wild. It's so good. Pull out of a fight. Well, I don't really even need priests. So pure melee comps here. No ranged at all yet. Yeah, he's just bringing those guys back. Deadpan is just sitting for the moment. Behind a little bit. Getting age 3 techs here. Camel Champ going to be very handy. Adding in spears as well. But Ares is already age 3, so he's already got Lancer Champion on the way. He's already got a transition to Chariot Archers, so this is kind of the part where spears really fall off. I think, you know, if he was going to go spears, he was probably best off skipping the stables, just going 3 or 4 barracks, and then just basically pushing as hard as he could. Because I think that's where spears are at their best. Oh, and this is a really nice raid for Ares, hitting just as the wall off is starting. So that doesn't finish, and then this third town center's in a lot of trouble. Deadpan's got to bring something over here to try and save this. Ares can't get through though, so he's not going to be able to push all the way around. He's going to have to take out that storehouse first. So Deadpan is once again just going to be able to put a crap load of villagers on the one town center. Might be able to get it finished here. We'll lose a couple of villagers, but Ares' little hit and run here. He's going to have to try and run with the Lancers, I think. And the Spear's just holding off the camels for the moment. Ares, if he can kill that villager and get out, I think that'd be ideal for him. Oh, he doesn't actually kill the villager. So he manages to... There's a few times this game where Ares has been a bit generous and left villagers to live. So Deadpan is safe for the moment. Things are starting to look a bit scrappy on his side though. But Ares isn't actually training anything at the moment. He's had a bit of a bottoming out on his gold economy. But here we go. Royal Guards and Lancers in production. Well, he doesn't see this. He's not paying attention. He's too busy adding production. So here we go. He's doubling back now. But this time Deadpan's ready. He's got all of his army here. But still, Deadpan was the one to come out worse off there, losing a unit. Well, now we've got a lot of chariots in the mix. There's not a good number of camels here. Yeah, Axemen are going to be able to deal a bit of damage, but they and the spears are just going to die so quickly to those chariots. Royal Guards look really sick. Meanwhile, Deadpan's units are naked. He doesn't even have any PvE stuff equipped. No gear, nothing. 61 villages to 77. So Ares has built himself a bit of a lead there because Deadpan's production of villages hasn't been particularly bad. His town center timings, his age ups have been pretty good. Oh, here we go. A bit of a raid here by Deadpan. Ares is sending back some Lancers to deal with that. It is just about only Axemen here. A couple of spears and a chariot. But Lancers with their charge upgrade should be able to mop this up pretty quickly. So it did buy Deadpan a bit of time, but he is just going to basically eat the value of all this. There he's getting some more H3 upgrades. And Deadpan just making a start on the first of his upgrades. There he's a little ahead on armory tech at the moment. He's got melee damage and armor, getting the second tier of melee damage. Lancers and the camels. Similar speeds, but Ares has actually invested in stables techs to make, at least the first of them, to make cavalry faster. Don't believe that Deadpan has done so at this stage. No mounted training yet. Ooh, another raid here by Ares, so really applying the pressure now. Turning the screws. Deadpan's trying to put a bit of pressure on with some camels here. There is a spear there to defend these guys in the middle as well. And spears. And the rest of this little run-by army here to catch them. Deadpan's trying to keep active out on the map, but I don't know if it's getting him as much value as he's hoping here. 2 spears. Not going to be enough to defeat all these camels. Ares trying to keep Deadpan busy while he raids. Deadpan's walled in. This is really nice. He's invested so little into this, but gotten so much defense out of it. It's really safe here. Deadpan probably needs to bring everything together and punish Ares for splitting up, rather than just splitting up even further than his opponent and not really ascertaining any value out of it. It does fall. Deadpan's busy paying attention over here because that group of camels has been picked off by some spears. So Ares is able to make his way into the tradesman's entrance at Deadpan's base. A bunch of slingers now too to try and contend with these chariots. If he's microing them well, he might be able to get a bit of good value out of them because they're not very expensive. Their base damage is terrible, but their counter damage is really good. Like 3 times multiplier, man. A lot of other things have got multipliers of like 1 to 2. Very cheeky over here, Deadpan. I wonder if Ares is actually able to... Yeah, you can see it. So he is going to clean this up. But he is fighting relatively split, so he is having to back out a bit. 66 vills to 74 in favour of Ares. Good. Age 4 on the way now. Deadpan bleeding more eco here, and he's going to struggle for food to start replacing villagers with. 74 to 57 now. Eco's really looking Ares' way. Deadpan's army size is pretty impressive though, bearing in mind, like, you know, when you're down by 15 to 20 villagers, if you're on even population, really you should be able to win fights. But Ares has also got age 3 armory upgrades. Deadpan's really only got age 2 armory at this stage. Royal Guard chant. It's a funny one because it actually makes them neutral against build. Like it means you get bonus attack speed against everything. But because you're dealing less damage against the buildings, you know, you're pretty much neutral on them. So it's designed so they're really only better against units. They're probably the only unit to my knowledge that works that way. Sappers have got a weird upgrade too. Oh no. No, that's right. Sappers have got a fairly normal upgrade. Only makes them better at what they counter though. A handful of villagers getting taken down there. Bit of a sacrifice. Deadpan's got a good age 3 army. Bearing in mind Ares is now age 4. Mounted archers here, so he's going to be able to get to 200 pop. Retreating a little bit, doesn't want to overextend, wants to make Deadpan overextend, and if the Lancers can get on top of some of these slingers, it makes this fight a hell of a lot easier to bring the mounted archers and chariots forward to clean up the military. And with some of the army attacking Ares' eco, I think Ares is confident he's got the bigger eco, so even losing some of this, it's not the biggest deal. Because if they're focusing down his eco, his army's able to fight the rest of Deadpan's army. Then you get a result like this where Deadpan is down 40 pop and Ares is down 30. So ecos are still pretty similar sized. Ares is able to use this opportunity to transition to caravans. So even though he lost, I think about 12 villager pop there. It ended up being worth it because he was going to delete those anyway, and it worked as a bit of a bait. Kept a few of those camels and axes out of the fight, where they'd be instead, you know, attacking spears, royal guards, lancers. Deadpan getting ready to go for I was going to say another raid here. There is a wall off there, so I think he realizes that Ares has walled this off now. Last of those chariots getting cleaned up. 66 to 68 Vil pop in favor of Ares. And Deadpan, it's a little bit of a struggle to try and get to age 4 here. He desperately needs gold from somewhere. He's adding markets, but Ares patrolling these gold mines. And he probably will run by just to make sure there's no safe market. She's going to spot just as soon as the first finishes. And these villagers, they're going to be very worse for wear here. Deadpan just trying to bring the rest of his army together. The problem is that the slingers can't chip away at royal guards or spears very effectively. They just have so little base damage. They're great against the ranged element here, but against all this melee, they're just useless. They're sitting ducks. Deadpan having to bring all his camels back, and he gets a good catch on a few of the lancers, but Ares just has so many spears at the moment. What's left of the that ranged ball that was cleaning up the markets has now come forward. These lancers are going to get cleaned up, but there is so many spears here. Good number of chariots and raw guards still too. And Deadpan, I don't know if he's got anything left here. He's going to go for the siege tower push. It is a little bit late though. I think if this had a hit just as Ares was pushing in here, he might have had to bring something back to deal with it. In fact, he might still have to. But Deadpan losing a town center now. He can't hit a great critical mass here. I don't know how many. He's really only got the 1 barracks left. He's just going to lose quite a bit of stuff here at home, but I think Deadpan is going to lose this race against the clock here because he's got 2 stables and a barrack, 3 stables and a barracks left. GG. Ares initially not getting a huge amount of a gap with the Vil pop, but then just during the mid game with a couple of those raids, things started to open up a bit. This did look pretty good for Deadpan when he was pushing up here a little bit earlier though. I think Ares is saying maybe FF once again, which is nice of him. We might do FF versus Deadpan, might be a good game. See, we might do FF and EZ versus Deadpan, or we'll probably do Ares versus Deadpan again. We'll just see how we go, guys.